lives off each other really quick. I'll just open with, I remember it was in the summer. I was river guiding, I was raft guiding, and I took someone into town, and I had a friend who, believe it or not, a more hardcore fan than I was, and they had a secret website. Did you hear about this?
I did hear about
Yeah,
that.
they had
Yeah.
a secret website where they were releasing like little ciphers, little notes that were signed from this secret person or non-known person named Clancy.
Yes.
And you know about Clancy,
Yep.
right? Connor, what was your experience a little bit with that time period following up to the release of Trench, the hype that followed there? Because really quick, there was a hiatus of 3 years.
Yes. Okay.
Blurryface.
Yes.
Blurryface came out, and then it was 3 years later. It would have been in my opinion, a very long stretch without
Long
21
time.
Pilots. It'd been a minute.
Yeah.
But when they finally came back, they weren't messing around. They built
Right.
it up really
Right.
well.
Oh yeah.
What were your thoughts with with the gap, the Trench is the building up to it, the building
Okay.
of? What do you think, man?
Yeah. So do you want me to start like back when like I first like found out about the band or?
Yeah, man. You tell us. You
Okay.
tell us.
Okay, so in 2015, I didn't even know 21 Pilots at all before Blurryface, probably like most of the fans. And the first time I heard them, I was working at Pizza Pie Cafe at the time in St. George. And Tearing My Heart came on, I remember. And I'm like, man, what is this song? I love this song. And I looked it up, and it was 21 Pilots. And then just went through the whole Blurryface album, and that's how I
there you
found
go.
out about it. And the rest is history.
The
right
rest is
there.
history. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that was like my favorite album at the time. And there were no more albums coming out for the next 2 years, and I went on my mission, and Trench came out when I was on my mission, so I didn't even get to hear it until I got back from my mission. Almost a year later, it came out.
Right.
So, and Trench is my favorite album so far by 21 Pilots.
Absolutely.
I just love the storyline.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I will say, kind of a tragedy that you're on your mission. Absolutely good for you serving the Lord, but what? I mean, I remember. I think like the building up to the experience was as part of the experience that's the experience
Right.
was. I use
But
experience a lot.
one story on my mission on a P day, I
Mhm.
saw the Trench album in Walmart on my mission, and I bought it.
Hey, there you go.
I didn't
man.
listen to it though, but I bought it.
You bought it. Hey, he had it.
I had
He
it, but
had
I
it
couldn't
there.
listen to it.
Wasn't listening to it.
Right. It
But
was
he
a
owned it.
sacrifice.
Absolutely.
I'm impressed.
Something that goes along with this is there was a lot of story building from this character Clancy.
Mhm.
Clancy is this character that isn't supposed to directly represent Tyler, but more of a archetype of what Tyler is when he's trying to escape from Dima.
Right.
Dima, I keep using this word. Dima is this place that represents Tyler's insecurities, everything that's bad about the dark side of his mind
Right.
represents, but it's
Mhm.
a physical location. What Trench kind of allowed was kind of taking all these mental and emotional ideas and transforming them into physical places, embodied by different characters, by different, even we get introduced to Ned later,
Yeah.
which is, I don't even know what to call that creature, like a jackalope alien?
When I first saw him, I was like, "Who in the world is this?" Because the first video he came on was Chlorine, wasn't it?
Right, yeah.
I was like, "Who is this weird
Mm.
creature?" Like,
Yeah, it's like this little CGI horn thing, and
yeah.
it actually also plays into a bigger part, but we've been chit-chatting for a second. I think we should actually just, let you hear what 21 Pilots has done. Let's
Yeah, let's do it.
start with a little bit of their older stuff, and
Move on.
hopefully we're not stressing you out, but if you are, we relate.
That was great. That was great.
Fantastic.
Couldn't have gone any better.
Did you finish the video you did?
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, I can definitely help
I
with
wish I
that.
had the
Oh,
better
yeah.
voice to sing some better words. I wish I found some chords in it.
That's 21 Pilots, probably their most well-known song in all variety, Stressed Out. Hopefully we're making you feel a little less stressed out, not more stressed out. I will say, as far as, I consume a lot of music, almost as much as I breathe, but I will say that drum beat that goes the breakdown right before we go into the chorus is probably one of my favorite things in all of music that Josh done. Just the, you know, it's just breathtaking. Yeah, so once again, Logan struggles and fumbles a lot of the technical side. You know, we're having a good time talking, but Jordan's mic is on.
Hello.
Yes, now you can hear him. I realized you said quite a few lines that our audience probably, yeah, it's a work in progress. If you're still with us, thank you. Thank you for
Yes,
putting
thank
up
you.
with, you know, kind of struggling, but having a good time. Having a good time.
Oh,
It's
Yeah.
a great time. It's a
Absolutely.
blast.
So Connor talked a little bit about how he was introduced to the band. I'll talk about mine. I had a buddy by my same name that I was hanging out with, and he played a song called Heavy Dirty Soul.
That's a great song.
Great song. I did not like it when I first heard it.
Really?
I was in a place where I hated rap. You know, I feel like we all have that phase,
We do.
especially
That's
like growing up in our
We do,
culture. It's
yeah.
like mom and dad are like, I don't get it. It's dumb.
Yeah,
And of course.
My parents hate rap.
Exactly. A lot of the times they have their, you know, their rock and roll, and then
Yeah.
rap is like too far for them. you
Yeah.
know? I definitely had that. I was like, this is rap. I don't listen to rap, you know, thinking I'm high and mighty or something. This song, you know, Stressed Out, I think it was actually Ride that was probably the next one that hit
Ride,
me, that
yeah.
I was like, yeah,
Mhm.
Tearing My Heart,
Mhm.
House of Gold,
Great
you know,
song.
Slowly Ease, and then I Hit the Judge. It was probably, that was like 8th grade for me. 9th grade was when I hit like, dude, it was a whole new world of discovering music. I went through when I like studied Blurry Face, right?
Wow, yeah.
Which back then Blurry Face was just the title, you know.
Right.
Blurry Face now is embodied by a person, you know.
Yeah.
That's true.
We'll get more into that, you know, talking about the world building. So they did take the 3-year hiatus,
They did.
but they went into intense world building. We talked about Dima, we talked about Clancy. What we're going to talk about now is we're going to talk about the Bishops. Connor, Jordan, one of you guys, Cody Bone, what do you guys first experiences of like figuring out, I want to say is a Nico, representing Blurry Face. Actually, real quick question for you guys. Have you guys seen the Blurry Face album cover when you take off the black thing?
Yes.
Like on the CD?
Yes.
Have you seen that?
I have not.
I'm seeing Jordan's like puzzled face.
Is it
Yes.
like the face?
Yes.
Yes, I've seen
Yes.
that. Yes.
So I didn't know about this until I like was scrolling Reddit at 3 a.m. one time, you know. But yeah, you take off that black like
Yeah.
sheet.
It creeped me out the first time I saw it.
Exactly.
Kind of need to see this.
It's creepy, but it's really
Yeah,
cool. It kind of, I mean, obviously there's a lot of symbolism and double meanings in
Mhm.
a lot of these lyrics, but that one goes to represent. It has the face.
Yep.
It looks really cool, scary.
Yeah.
But when we get to see the album and people are just looking at the surface, we get to zoom in on each like individual insecurity, right? And behind it's the face. But when we focus on it just in this little bubble, it's kind of like I'm presenting on a platter
Yeah.
my mental struggle, you know, and other people can see it, but they're not seeing the full picture. It's
Right.
messy.
Right.
It's they flow into each other.
Yeah.
It's scary, but I just get to see the collective part, right? I will say Twin Parts really good at doing that. They've kind
Yeah.
of broken it down and made it even more like you can loosely interpret it how you want to see it. But tell us a little bit about Nico and the Niners. Connor?
Yeah, so Nico, the first time I ever like heard of the name was in the song Nico and the Niners.
Mhm.
And the music video was great, by the way, in that
Mhm.
song. But well, like I was kind of confused because like the first time I heard it was off of My Mission, so like I didn't really know like who Nico was. I kind of thought he was probably like one of the bishops or something like that. But I did my research and the whole storyline. Like if you're familiar with it, you'll understand. But if you're not, like you'll have to like do your research leading up to it, like to that point.
Right. We'll try and explain a little bit, but to switch it over, Jordan, banditos. Are you familiar with this term
Yes.
and what they represent?
Somewhat, yes.
Okay, tell us what you've heard, what you understand at least.
So basically, when I first heard them, I was like, this is pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
But like, I didn't know like who it was, so like it didn't take hours of Google searches, but that's what it felt like.
Right.
And when I finally was like found them and like looking at the other stuff, I'm like, okay, yeah, these guys are cool. I can respect that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So these guys, I mean, from what you guys said, Jordan kind of says these guys are the awesome ones. And
Yes.
He's the one that said, Connor says these guys are like the not so cool.
The
so
bad, yeah.
exactly
The bad guys.
So to put it in like simpler terms, it is good versus bad, but it is the banditos are these like rebels,
Mhm.
right? Rebels
Right.
rebelling against the bishops, which are these rulers of Dima, right? And it's called Nico and the Niners. So
Yep.
it's 9 bishops. Nico's the leader, his full name being Nicholas Bourbaki,
Yes.
right?
So
Also represented by Blurryface.
yeah, I have so like if you've noticed on the cover of Blurryface, there's 9 circles, and
Mhm.
those aren't those the bishops?
Yes.
Yes.
And each bishop represents an individual insecurity of
Mhm.
Tyler's.
Right.
Also at the center of Dima,
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the exact name. I think it wasn't Ziggurats, but it was something
No.
like that. But it's
Mhm.
like they're supposed to represent buildings
Yeah.
that ancient times people would bring their dead to the top
Right.
to be disposed of. Like they
Right.
just get be carry on, and
Yeah.
take it down.
Yeah.
But 9 pillars, 9 bishops, Nico and the Niners. Absolutely. Any more thoughts, you guys?
I can't think of anything else
No,
right now.
no. Okay.
I think
So
we're pretty-
transitioning, what Connor and Jordan were telling me before we got hopped back on was the way he phrased it was I listened to Stressed Out and I listened to Tear in My Heart and I said, is that the same band?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Was that really by the same people?
Yeah, so the first time I like heard the band, I heard "Tear in My Heart" and then I heard "Stressed Out." I'm like, this cannot be the same band. But both
Right?
of those songs are from the same album, so it's
Yes.
like crazy.
They're so diverse, but not
Yeah,
only are they
yeah.
cohesive
Yeah,
and so different, but they're from the same album.
exactly.
Right? And that's not even taking into account that this is, I don't know what that would be. That would probably be their 4th, at least Tyler Joseph, lead singer,
Yeah.
his 4th album.
Mhm.
As a band, they started with 21 Pilots, their self-titled album, right?
Yeah.
And then they went on, they had Vessel, but I think it was beforehand that they were going to release Regional at Best, but then they
Yes.
got signed
Got
by,
signed by different label.
Fueled by Ramen.
Fueled by Ramen.
and so they have 2 produced records,
Mhm.
and then they had Blurryface. So Blurryface was their 3rd with Tyler and Josh Dunn.
Mhm.
What diversity, right?
Yeah.
Like I can't find a song that I don't like, you know? Like I said, I initially had a hard time with Heavy Dirty Soul, but
Yeah. Well,
even when this guy's rapping,
even in the same song, sometimes it sounds like a totally different band. Like
Oh,
"Ode to
yeah, that's
Sleep."
true.
"Ode to Sleep." Like there's a rap verse, and then like the
Rock,
chorus is like a rock.
fantastic
Yeah.
beat. You're right.
Yeah, it's insane.
Absolutely. I would say I used to tell my friends that's probably what like bipolar
Mhm.
sounds like.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a good point.
Right?
Like what?
I
What?
almost imagine like looking at yin and yang when I listen to it. Right? Because it's like the night part. No, actually that's the morning part. It's
I'll stay awake.
yeah. I'll stay awake, sing songy when you wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
Stars not taking prisoners tonight. And then it's
Bum, 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 bum,
yeah.
bum,
Dun,
bum.
dun, 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 dun. I rip my heart apart, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. He just goes fast.
And yeah, and he spits it
Insane.
metaphorically. Yeah,
Yeah.
can't say that. Which is like the only bad word, right, that Tyler's ever
Yeah.
said on our record,
Yeah.
which is bad, you know.
Yeah.
He says metaphorically. Anyway,
Yeah.
check out the song. We kind of touched on it earlier with the outside being very incongruent with how it looks
Mhm.
and how it sounds, right?
Right.
That's kind of a motif of 21 Pilots, right? Having something sound one way. Oh, what's the line? It's in a Blurryface song. He says, This one's a contradiction because of how happy it sounds when the lyrics are so down. You know?
That's tearing my heart.
Yeah, it's Tearing My Heart, which is one of
Yeah.
their singles. You know,
Yeah,
he talks
yeah.
about how a lot of the time he'll be like, "This is a happy song," and then you're like,
The
"Oh,
song-
okay, let me listen to what he's saying." And like,
The songs on the radio are okay.
my taste in music is your face, you know. But I think they've leaned into it. I think they've grown through having the cognitive dissonance where you're
Right.
like something's off, and I feel like it's almost driven people to explore more.
Yeah.
We've kind of been talking for a minute. I'll just quickly transition. I will talk about my favorite music video. I like this new one. We'll talk about more specifics after this next song, but I'll say my favorite music video that I've seen. It's more of a standalone. It's from Trench era, 4th song on the record. My Blood,
Yes.
right? Tyler and Josh are seen in it, but they're definitely not the main focus.
No. No
Right?
way.
Kind of take a back seat, and not saying that I love that they're in the back seat, but I love the direction that they chose to take that music
Right.
video, right?
Relatable.
Exactly. And My Blood was probably one of their more ambiguous songs,
Yeah.
you know?
Mhm.
My Blood, is he talking about, self-inflicted harm?
Right, exactly.
You don't need to run like when blood runs. Is he talking about my blood as in like I'm talking about my family, like blood relative? Because we'll talk more about his relationship with his brothers. It's shown in the Stressed Out music video. He values family; it's very important to him.
Right.
My Blood could be talking about someone that's so close to you that you feel that they're a relative, and they don't need to run away from the anxiety, the depression, the pressures that they feel. Without further ado, let's hear what you guys think. Give us a call. Feel free. But this is My Blood. Here we go.
Yeah.
Pilots and their double meanings. My Blood. We don't need to run. We talk about, is it relatives? Is it actual blood? We don't know. But a lot of interpretation, right? Leads us straight into what the hour is dedicated to. Is 21 Pilots' new music video, The Outside. We talked about the cognitive dissonance. We haven't really gotten into details yet, right?
Right, exactly.
Connor, tell us your overall, the visuals, what you interpreted. Just tell us a little bit about it, for
Yeah.
those of us who haven't seen it.
Yeah, so the Outside music video. So if you've seen the Outside music video, it leads off, like the start of the Outside music video basically leads off right where Saturday left off. So, well, it starts off with like one of the bishops, and he's like doing his thing.
Whatever he's doing.
Yeah, whatever the heck he's doing, and then it shows Tyler climbing on the sand out of the water, and Josh is there with like his flame stick thing, and then they start like going on this island, and then Josh sees something. He hurries and sprints inside this little cave tunnel.
Wait, real quick. I think you skipped a crucial detail. At the beginning, what happens to that bishop? He's just chilling in the middle doing his thing. What happens to him?
Does he die?
I thought so, but basically all the other bishops just knife him.
Yeah, that's
Like,
right.
they all just whip out
yeah.
blades
They
and-
knife him.
I thought these guys were on the same team. I don't know if it was Nico. I don't think it was.
I don't think it was Nico.
It was just one of the bishops, and next thing you know, it's just like blades are flying
Yeah.
from all these
Yeah,
red
yeah.
robes, and we're like,
everywhere.
what is going on? And this dude drops to the floor.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, continue. Sorry, I just felt like that
No,
was...
that was super important.
I'll remember, I had a hard time, comprehending the
Yeah,
rest of what
that was
happened.
that was confusing for me to.
Because all of a sudden you just see a guy just get knifed to death, and then it's just like, act like nothing happened.
What
you
a
know?
what a way to start off a video.
Right? At least we got your attention, absolutely.
Right. So and then where was I? And then Josh, yeah, he sees something in one of the tunnel things, and he sprints in there, and so does Tyler. And then it happened to be a Ned. I don't
Right.
know. I don't know how familiar everyone is with it, but
Do your best. I want to hear your darndest explanation of a Ned.
Ned. So he's a character. I don't know if he's like I don't know if he's an animal or if he's like, I don't know what he is, an alien. I don't.
Dude, he's somewhere in between, right?
Yeah. So he's kind of like a Stitch. I don't know.
Oh, that's a great point. I've never thought.
Yeah,
compared
I don't
to
know.
that.
So if you haven't seen Ned, what he looks like, he's this white creature thing with like
Mm.
horns on the top of his head.
Damn,
And
that's great.
I don't know.
I would say he looks like two Disney things, right?
Okay,
First is the Jackalope
Jackalope.
from Bounding,
Yes.
mixed
Okay.
with Stitch.
Yes,
Would
exactly.
you say that's a pretty good?
That's a good
like it's not a
comparison.
perfect mashup, but
That's
like
the best you can get.
that's exactly yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the best you can get. Like there ain't nothing like Ned but Ned, you know?
Right.
I was thinking that or like Gollum, like a
Mm.
Oh,
miniature
Gollum.
Gollum.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah. Like
Yeah.
his cousin or something like
Yeah.
He's somewhere between adorable and horrifying.
that. Exactly.
I don't know how that works, you know? You're like, oh, he's so cute. I want to run away.
Yeah,
No?
he should be a good guy though.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about more what like he represents later, but
Mhm.
keep going with the rest
the
of this
video?
video. Yeah.
Yeah, so, and then like in the rap part, if you've heard the Outside song, like the rap part, like Tyler is holding this flame stick and he's rapping in this tunnel. It's a super awesome scene. It's probably my favorite scene in the whole music video, like halfway through it. And then he gets out, he joins a whole bunch of Neds. Like there's not just one Ned. There's like 15, 10 to 20 other Neds in the music video. They're like a big family or something like that.
Right.
So
Right.
I was not expecting that at all.
I have no idea what that means. Like,
Yeah.
Personally, like.
Yeah, I think all that's gonna lead into the next album. I think all those Neds are gonna help in the next album.
Absolutely, that'll be something really interesting to talk about.
Yeah,
So one of the Neds comes over and gives Tyler his
his
antlers.
antlers. Yeah. Oh, that's another thing. At the start of the music video, the bishop was holding some antlers.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
And the antlers probably control something. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what they mean or anything.
So at least from what I saw, there were three things that were like connected. I'm not sure how.
Okay.
Trash the Dragon
Yeah.
had his glowing eyes.
Yes, he
Which
did.
also, I'm just
And then he
suddenly
passed out
realizing,
at the start of it.
21 Pilots has an unreleased song called Glowing Eyes. Like,
Glowing eyes.
random thing I just thought I'd point out.
Reason.
But Trash the Dragon's eyes glow.
Yeah.
The Bishop's eyes glow.
hmm
Tyler's eyes glow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And at the end, in the beginning we see the antlers, and then at the end, when Ned gets the antlers
Mhm.
to Tyler,
Mhm.
Tyler's like using them, and for some reason the Bishop in Dima
Yeah.
is being controlled by him.
Yeah, like
That's
Tyler
a
with the
good point.
antlers are controlling him, and he like passes out, dies at the end of the music video or something. The bishop. I don't know if he
I
dies.
think I just had a revelation what that kind of means.
Yeah.
Yes. Finish telling us about the story or of the music video, and then I'm gonna have to play a song to help illustrate.
Oh, you're good, you're
and
good.
Lead into
You're good.
what I think. 'Cause I think I just had like an epiphany kind of.
So after he sees all the Neds, he gets out and he sees, I think it's the main Ned outside, and he's
Mhm.
holding his antlers, gives them to Tyler, and then what we just talked about, Tyler's controlling it, the antlers, and he's controlling the bishop. It looks like in the music video. You'll have to see it.
The dead one, the one that we
Yeah,
got knifed. we
yes,
got
the
died,
one
right?
that got
Yeah.
knifed. And then it ends on like a cliffhanger, the music
Mhm.
video. Like, it shows like all these people holding up like the flame torch things out in the distance. There's like
Mhm.
some land or something out there. And then it shows these two characters I think were in a previous music video at the very end. I think it was in the Nico and the Niners music video or
Oh, those two
Levitate, one of
kids that
those.
were-
Yeah, those two kids at the end holding the
Yeah.
torches. They might have. I think they're part of the Banditos.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That is a great point.
Yeah.
A couple things I want to point out just on that is
Mhm.
that another important music video to play off of, mostly going with these, is a lot of the trench era, right? Most importantly, Nico and the Niners,
Yep.
jumpsuit.
Jumpsuit.
And
Oh, jumpsuit music video.
what's the one after jumpsuit? Levitate.
Levitate.
Levitate. Out of order, Nico and the Niners goes first, not
Yeah.
first in the album, like number 9 in the album.
Mhm.
Nico and the Niners jumpsuit first.
Or Heavy Dirty Soul leads into Jumpsuit, doesn't it?
Oh,
Heavy
you're
Dirty Soul
right, you're
Heavy
right.
Dirty Soul music video leads into Jumpsuit, and then Jumpsuit I
Uh.
think goes to Nico and the Niners,
Yes.
and then yeah.
Because we start with him being in the trench,
yes.
right? A trench is like a thing of war that's
Mhm.
supposed to like represent like in between, like you're on one side opposing, but there's no man's land.
Right.
We get to see him in like a big trench with his friends.
Mhm.
It's kind of more used as like a rut or like a pit that he's in.
Yeah,
right? He's
exactly.
at the bottom of a canyon,
Mhm.
And in this canyon, it's just him and his Nico
Yeah.
devil
Yeah.
almost rides in on his white horse and is like, I'm dragging you back to hell, kind of,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
And then his family and friends are at the top
Top watching.
and throw down some yellow petals,
Yellow
and
petals.
try and like remind him, and all of a sudden he wakes up and he tries to run away. He gets away a little bit, but Nico still catches up, right? Nico catches and brings him back to Dima. We pick up in Nico and the Niners,
Right.
right? End of Nico and the Niners is the Banditos escaping from Dima,
Yes.
going into Levitate,
Hmm.
and we get to see them being excited, being glad that they're escaped. And then what happens? Nico brings them
Nico
back.
brings him back.
Yep, we get to see
He
Tyler chilling,
cannot.
having a good
Yeah.
time.
He
and
cannot
Nico's
escape
like,
Nico.
yeah, what the heck?
He
Nico's
cannot
like,
escape.
yeah, I'm coming, like, grabs him by the neck and just drags him back, you know?
Yeah.
So a lot of, like, on the head stuff, but a lot of, imagery that's meant to be interpreted.
Hmm.
I have a really interesting theory that I think you'll like. But it's gonna require me playing the song that comes right after
Oh yeah.
My Blood in the Trench album. And
Okay.
I'll just explain to you afterwards.
Okay.
The big connections. You've heard it before.
Yeah.
I don't want to taint like the listeners in case they haven't heard it, their experience listening to it.
Mhm.
Maybe I'll point it out after we go off air. But anyway,
Okay.
this is Chlorine,
All right.
21 Pilots, Thunder 91. Thunder 91, Chlorine by 21 Pilots, the band of the hour. Actually, that song is about 5 minutes long. It has a longer intro and outro, and the outro is really interesting, but just for time's sake, this hour flew by.
It
did,
did.
really did.
It feels like
flew
it's
by.
been like 10 minutes.
Exactly, dude. We've been so passionate, having a good time that I whew, can't believe it. So in the little break while we were listening to Chlorine, I quickly shot off my epiphany so it didn't escape me. I quickly told Jordan and Connor, like, guys, this is what I think it means. Here's what appeared to me. So first, before we go on, I have to explain what that song meant, right? Chlorine, the idea of chlorine, there's a couple of things that go into it. The number one that's less applicable is that for trench goes, the initials sipping on straight chlorine is a, what's it, let me break it down, not an anagram. but like
Metaphor.
Metaphor?
no, it's
No.
like a,
Symbolism.
it's like when you shorten like FBI when you shorten
Mhm.
it to like letters,
Yeah.
I can't think of what it's called, but basically it's sipping on straight SOS chlorine, which is atomic is CL, so it's supposed to be save our souls, Clancy,
Oh.
right?
That
So-
makes sense.
So it's kind of a letter from
Yeah.
Clancy,
Yeah.
like a hidden one, and a lot of these have to be like, I'd say this one is less have to be subtle because this one's like I'm advocating to be a bandito. Skeleton and Icy very much not like that.
Yeah.
Like the bishops have control and it's all propaganda. This one he's like SOS, like save me. But more importantly, I think maybe what it's saving him from is this chlorine, right? The idea of chlorine in this song, especially as the music video actually matches,
Mhm.
is chlorine is supposed to represent the chemical that is bad for you, kills you, but for some reason you're reliant on it and you need it to survive, right? In Tyler's case, this is a metaphor for songwriting. It's a metaphor for the creation of music, the music process, and just getting the artistic energy out. It's kind of how he channels the negative emotions. Anyway, in the music video, like Connor said, elegantly put, this is where
Ned was born.
Ned was born. This was the first time we
This is
saw
Ned.
him.
Yeah.
And first he was like peeking out, and basically the essence of the music video is they keep trying to fill up this pool,
Yeah.
and they first add a little bit of chlorine,
Mhm.
a little bit of liquid,
Mhm.
and Ned comes out and he checks it out and he says, nah, it's not enough,
Yeah.
goes back. So then they fill it up, a good decent amount, and then he comes out and Ned says, yeah, that's not enough. So they get like a freaking huge barrel drum and fill the whole pool
The
full
whole
of
thing.
chlorine. It's bubbling and steaming.
And then he
Ned
jumps
comes
in.
out and he's like, this is my time, cannonballs right in, fills it, you know. And because of that, it's kind of a symbolic of, you know, not just like drug use, because I don't think he uses. I think his drug is music, and I think that's what he's getting at.
Oh, I think
Yeah.
so too.
The chemicals, you know, drugs, chemicals. He's relying on this as almost a crutch.
Yeah.
He uses it to help himself deal with it, but also it's taking a toll on him, right? It used to be that he could spray a little bit of chlorine, and his Ned, his creative process, would be like, I'm here to help. But now it's like he either has to suffer a lot or just go through a lot of excruciating circumstances to get Ned back out, get his creative process flowing, and it's
Right.
not like it was before. With that in mind, we have another motif that appears in the Outside music video. Obviously, Ned's back. We hadn't seen Ned for a couple of music videos.
Yeah, it's been forever.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a Ned hiatus.
Yes, you're right, dude. He's been MIA. We didn't know where he was. Some thoughts that Bounce Man was about him because
Yeah.
maybe Ned did something wrong.
I think it's
even though
about
he thought-
Josh.
Interesting. Dude, let's talk about that next week.
Yeah.
Hey, tune in next week.
We'll be back next Thursday.
Thursday,
Oh, yeah.
7 to 8.
7 8.
We will be back talking about it. Sound good? Good. The Outside, we have a lot of Neds. We have Ned handing, like Connor said when he described, hands off his antlers, like removes them from his head and hands them to Tyler. Which I thought was an odd gesture. I was
Yeah.
like, that's like, you know, like a part of you. That's like me taking my body part, you know, just like ripping out my hair and being like, who's this, you know?
I don't need my blonde hair.
You have enough waste of your own. But what I think it represents is if Ned represents the creation process, I think horns or antlers are a good representation of like prestige and pride.
Yeah.
You know, it's something big, it's something accomplished, it's something that, like, if I was a big buck deer and I had like 6 points, that's what the hunters go for because
Yeah.
those are more prized possessions. In this case, I think it's him like submitting them to him, and then because he's able to use Ned, which was his creative process, he's supposed to tap into that full potential, uses those antlers, and can control the bishop with them,
Right.
which is crazy, right?
Insane.
Every time we've seen a bishop, it's like Tyler's been under their thumb. Like, he has no control. He's 100% controlled by them. But this time, we get to see him. He is making this bro dance.
Yeah.
Like, we thought he died, and now he's up and dancing, you know? So I think, metaphorically, that represents the song process, allowing him, as times progressed, and he's gotten better, you know, that his antlers have formed, he's
Right.
able to tackle his demons now.
Right.
He's able
Yeah.
to take them on head on
Mhm.
and even control them.
Yeah. And can,
Oh.
can I give my final thoughts?
Absolutely, bro. Go
Okay,
for it.
so after the Outside music video, I think it leads in perfectly to the next album, and I think the next album is gonna be like Endgame for 21 Pilots version. So it's gonna be like
Good point.
it's gonna be like the end of Demon, I think. So it's gonna be like the Bishops versus like the Banditos. It's gonna be like a big like war in their next album. I feel like, and I feel like it's
Absolutely.
gonna be their best album, their next album.
That's a great point. We'll talk more about Skull and Icy next week too, to contrast with Trench, because very different, both very good, very different albums. One random thought that just came to mind too is when I heard the song No Chances. You guys heard that one?
Yes.
I imagined it was the bishops chanting in there. You know, the bishops are chanting.
I think that song makes sense for the Outside, kind of what it's saying. Like, we got people on the way. Well, I don't know. We got people on the way, and maybe Tyler's like controlling.
And I think you're right. I think he's like talking about the Banditos are
Banditos
coming. You know?
are coming. Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
That's
I
what
could-
it means.
What I
yeah.
think is, I think it's like the bishops, like it's one of their like last stands. You know, it's like
Ooh.
the bishops are like,
Yeah.
we'll come for you. There's no chance you're escaping, and then the
Exactly.
Banditos being like, we're going
Yeah.
to anyway. Like,
Yeah.
you can say that, you can say you're gonna keep me forever, but you can't.
Mhm.
You can't keep me forever. I'm going to escape. I have too many people helping me escape this place to be stuck here.
Right.
And I think I watched a video. I think it was the pop song professor that said it almost sounds like it's two opposing like football teams chanting at each other. You know,
It does.
like a big rivalry, and all of a sudden they're coming head to head.
Who are
Like
you?
this is going down. You know, something is about to change. I don't know if it's gonna be better. I don't know if it's gonna be worse, but it's not gonna be the same message,
Yeah.
right? And I'm very excited to see
Oh yeah.
21 Pilots Endgame, right? We have to assume the Banditos win.
Oh, yeah.
But what does that mean for the Bishops? You know,
Exactly.
does that mean they completely eliminated their mental
And like,
illness? Does that
and
mean
how is 21 Pilots gonna keep going on musically after this
Mm.
story is over? You know.
right?
Yeah.
Right. They have poured so much into this,
Hmm.
and I can't imagine them just being like, "We're giving up music."
Right.
You know, we've already talked about it's chlorine. He needs it. You know. Thanks so much for tuning in,
Yeah,
guys.
thank
If
you.
you enjoyed this, tune in next week, Thursday, 7 to 8. I'll definitely be having my boys back.
Be part
Heck
2.
yeah.
Bleach Bros, part 2. We got
Bleach
Connor, we got
Bros.
Jordan. It's yours truly, Logan.
Peace.
And of course, we'll have to leave you with the song we've been talking about this whole time.
The outside.
The Outside, 21 Pilots, Thunder 91. Thanks for tuning in.
She's kind of a up and coming artist who recently released sort of like a folky album. Has a lot of really cool piano and I don't know, like it's got very intricate production.
You lost who you was. Maybe you're just like me and feel the need to stay in your rut. Cause if you left it, you might feel like you're no longer you. It's so impressive.
Don't even look.